This sadly is not my biggest failure, even though, wow, is it ugly. Let's get over here and take a look at what I'm doing to fix my biggest failure. Just so happens that my biggest failure might also be my biggest success, which is kind of funny. But let's get on the desktop and look at this fix. So this right here fixes one of the biggest problems I've had this year, and that is my old utility. Now this utility obviously looks a lot better because I intend to fix the worst work product I've ever made. And it may be a little bit overstatement because this has been downloaded and used, I think over 3 million views now on YouTube across multiple videos I've made about it and updates. I initially pushed this out and it was just so haphazard, and as it kind of evolved, and here I'll just paste that right there, and this is the toolbox I have used in the past, and it's ugly. It doesn't scale properly. It's not well organized. It's gotten a couple bad pull requests probably that messed some of these buttons up, and it's time to completely revamp this thing. And I said, hey, I'm going to get it out this week, and I'm still shooting for this week, but I needed to make a video for old YouTube to feed the algorithm gods, so to speak. So this is your taste of the new toolbox, and also to get some feedback before I finalize it, because I really want this to look really, really good. So I actually wanted to do a couple things differently this time. This right here is like PS Bad, and this is a power tools and some other professional tools that I've bought specifically for this project. And here is the new toolbox. So this is my thought process. The old toolbox, you just had a bunch of ugly buttons everywhere. The new toolbox here, you can see we got that. Let's say you're on like a tiny screen. It'll scale way down. Like if it's 600 by 400, it'll scale. Or if you want to go big and go, hey, I want it, all of this all over the screen, you can do that. So full scaling, doesn't matter if it's on a laptop or you have 200% scaling or 100%, it'll automatically change all of that. Second thing, clicking buttons to go through each one of those old installs was just asinine, and I hate that. I wanted to go, you know what, I want to do 7-zip, auto hotkey, and let's say I'll toss on advanced IP scanner. You can just hit start to that, and then in the background, you'll see it kind of go through and install everything. Once it's finished with the install of these 3 programs, you'll see the final package. You'll say on the background in the PowerShell, hey, it's done. And then the check marks, it'll automatically remove all those, giving you kind of more of a visual indicator in the application. You can install 40 or 50 apps. I'm still going to expand this a little bit. I made a community post about a couple days back. I'm going to take all the suggestions from that community post as well and incorporate them here. So this is going to be night on steroids, as it will install a ton of stuff. So as you see, it's done. The tweaks, kind of the same thing, but instead of making a 1-button essential tweaks that just kind of does everything, I made 3 recommended selections. You have the full desktop selection that disables power throttling and kind of does a lot of the sensible stuff. A laptop setting where you're going to want power throttling because you don't want it just to eat up your entire battery. And then more of a minimal, hey, I only wanted to do a couple things like disable telemetry and run some of the more basic stuff that pretty much every computer should not have there anyways. But it just, you can check what you want and then just run the tweaks. And then of course we have just the undo all button. So that's the tweaks section. I will definitely expand this, but adding these tabs kind of is a good way to separate the different things this is going to do, because it's not going to be just a debloat anymore. It's going to be a full utility set. Configurations, this features over here is just another way. A lot of times when I boot up a system, I need .NET, and I'm tired of going and getting .NET 3, 3.5, 2, 4, 4.5, all that. You click that and then just say, install these features. So past the features, you have the legacy panels over here, which you can pull those up. And I'm tinkering with the idea of just kind of putting next to it some of the commands so you don't have to pull this up every time to do these things. Like this is mmmsys.cpl. This is sysdm.cpl. This is control user passwords 2. This is just regular control. This is ncpa. And I don't even remember the power options one. But anyways, these are the old power panels that are kind of hidden on Windows 11 and Windows 10. And I love having the legacy panels. Just it makes your system so much more powerful because you have access to like, hey, what are the device install things? Or let's say you want to change your environmental variables and add something to your path directory. So when you're in PowerShell, you can just type a command in. Having these old ones here are just so nice. And then finally, the updates box. Actually making Windows have sane updates is a big one. The default out of box settings basically resets your Windows update, and it goes through meticulously and wipes out any kind of customization that's been done to your Windows updates. So if you have a broken Windows update right now from some other program, if you click that button there, it's going to fix it. I guarantee it. That or your system's just beyond repair. Then we have the recommended security updates, which basically just goes through and sets it to sane security settings that I do in pretty much every business. And then we have the not recommended solution that just completely disables updates. A lot of people ask for that. I never recommend that. I left it for those that really hate Windows updates, but I do recommend almost everyone using this. This button is not recommended, but there because so many people have asked for it. A couple other things that I'm doing for those that have signed up and helped support this project and made it evolve way past what I thought it would get to is to actually buy code signing. So I bought a code signing certificate for several $100s, and that will be when you get an executable, it'll be signed by me. And that way nobody else tries to impersonate me, because I had a couple people make some toolboxes and other stuff and try to package viruses with them. And that's something that I kind of want to eliminate. So I'm doing code signing now. And whenever this does all get finalized, it'll probably take me a week or two before I'll be able to do code signing, just because I have to give out business information and those types of things to the SSL company that will facilitate the code signing. But we'll see how it all goes. Either way, I'm getting a full signature for the executable for those that do contribute over on cttstore.com. Other things I'm tinkering with when it comes to launching the service, instead of doing it through the old method, which is this right here, IWRs, invoke web request, and this whole line, I thought maybe I do a redirect from my website instead of using get.io like I was doing here. So it would look something more in the something that you could remember, IWR-USEB, and then do like christitus.com/win, and then you'd pipe IEX. And that way you don't have to remember every time that you want to launch my script to go Google it and go Google debloat Windows or something like that. You could just type this in because it would be very memorable. And that's one improvement that I'm going to make for the script as well. And that should redirect to where this GitHub repository resides. Right now, it's all privated. Another change on the GitHub repository is I will be extremely stringent on any pull requests coming in. Most will be denied. It needs to have extremely good documentation, and anything that is nuke the world kind of commit will get immediately denied, as I had a couple bad pull requests come through or people snuck in different things. And just know that if you do a pull request on this project, there's a good chance I'm going to deny it unless you make a very good valid point and it's well documented, because that's one thing that I want this script to be. I want to keep it very, very clean. So with that, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And I really look forward to doing it, but I'm not going to launch this project until it's fully ready. And I want to fix all the issues that I had in the past one and make it perfect for everyone out there to use a utility that is completely open source and free, and also be able to kind of fix all the stuff. So with that, see you all in the next one.